So, usually when I start these, I tend to just start it without telling the person because I don't know. It just feels like more of a informal setting. It's more like a conversation. I don't like to think of it more of like an interview. It's more like getting to know the person. So, if you were to like just be hanging out like one-on-one, you wouldn't be like, okay, let's do it now.
So that's the kind of vibe you go for.
Yeah. But how did you come about like knowing about my podcast?
Man, actually I saw it on Brian McSteen.
Yes.
I saw his was just blowing up. The little interview clip you did with him,
Yeah,
it was just blowing up. So I was like, man. And I know him a little bit. I met him at Brand Genius's event.
Oh, nice.
And then one time
you were there?
Yeah, I was there at the ribbon cutting. Yeah,
I was there. I didn't see you.
Oh, for real? Damn, bro, I didn't see you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sam, by the way, too.
Nice.
You knew you have him on the...
Sam Yao.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had met Brian, and I actually was doing some work at a Starbucks and I ran into him again afterwards.
Oh, really?
And I was mad because I had seen Brian at that actual event, and I went there just to network.
Yeah.
And I saw him at that event, and I was like, man, I need to go. I didn't know him. Like, I didn't know he had like a... his business was like here.
He's successful,
Yeah, I didn't know how big it was, right? And then I saw him there, and then afterwards, that's when I saw the videos that Brand Genius has done for him. I saw y'all's interview, and I was like,
nice.
Damn, that's crazy. And then I saw him at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go say what's up to him. So then I went, said what's up, and we had a little conversation. He gave me some business tips, and it was pretty cool.
That's awesome, bro. Like, I know that he was using some of the videos that we did for some of his ads, and I thought that was pretty awesome that I was able to, because that's the whole point, right? The point of this podcast is to showcase and give a spotlight to the people that are in the RGV. My goal is to give people an opportunity to share their story, what they're all about. So when I saw that he was doing that, I was like, cool, man. Like, the check mark of like using it to help other people was like a confirmation of like, you're on the good path.
I actually saw the video was replaying again, like it was like a sponsored ad.
No, he's been using it as an ad. Yeah,
I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and this setup here in Backdoor Modern Vintage, I don't think you can, because I've gotten other people to reach out to me who are like, hey, we also have a podcast space. You could come record here, et cetera. But I mean, you can't really beat this.
For sure. It's definitely unique.
This location, right?
It grabs the eye too, and it has that. It sets you apart. It sets this podcast apart, right, from the other ones that I feel that are out there.
Right.
And it has its own little niche, and I like that. I thought that was cool.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that with Yvette, she also is really big into fashion. So anytime someone comes here, she's always helping, dress them up or giving them some sort of like jewelry or accessories or whatever. So I don't think you can get something like that if you go somewhere else where, you might not have that as well. Yeah. But what did you think of the store?
I thought it was really cool. I've always been into like vintage stuff. I actually, for a while, I was like flipping stuff on eBay.
Nice.
That's kind of like where I got my first little taste of
entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I guess maybe even before that, I got into this, like selling things when I was younger. I was playing baseball.
Nice.
That's when I knew I was meant to be like a little business guy, because I would save up like the McDonald's toys.
Yeah.
Baggy them in like brown bags as like mystery packages, and then at the baseball games I would go sell them to other kids for like $5.
Now that I'm thinking back and you mentioned McDonald's, like some of those toys that were coming out back then, because I would like try to collect them all, like whether it was like Pokemon or whatever. I'm sure like now if someone had those packages sealed and like be selling, it would go for. And I don't know if you remember the Burger King watches from like The Simpsons or the Rugrats, where they would have watches and you would press them and it would say something. I thought those were cool too. So you got a taste of entrepreneurship when you were, how old were you when you were doing this?
I was maybe like 10, 11.
Okay.
I was young and I was like already selling other things to the other kids. And then I got even more of a taste when I went to, I guess, middle school, like my first year of middle school.
Right.
Everyone was selling, pretty sure everyone in the Valley loves hot Cheetos, but for some reason they were just hidden. So everyone was buying, there was like some kids that were selling like hot Cheetos and like gummy bears and chamoy and like stuff out of their backpack, which is like super like eat healthy kids. But it was like super bad and everyone was just, you know, buying these. And I was like, man, I could do that. So I was like, hey mom, let's go to Sam's and like help me buy some, you know, some stuff. And she was like, okay, cool. And she bought me the box of like the assorted chocolates and gummy bears. And then there I go at school and I was like selling them until I got caught. But yeah, that's where I was like kind of first selling more things. And then after that, when I got to maybe like 8th grade, I was actually in theater.
Oh, wow.
And
I was in theater too.
Oh, for real? No, yeah, I was in theater. I was in Grease.
Oh, damn.
I don't remember what character I was, but I was in Grease. But I was like, I didn't really stick with it, but I do love...
Here, let me give you your water, bro.
No, you're fine.
Thank you for bringing the water.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I gotta hook my boy up.
So you were dancing and singing and
acting it up a little bit. Thing. Yeah, I guess you could say. But I didn't stay. It was mainly like 2 years, like my 7th and 8th grade year.
Yeah. Did you ever get to kiss like a girl or anything?
In like the show?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I was like one of those. I wasn't like the main guy. I wasn't Danny or anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't the main guy, but I was in the singing, you know.
Yeah.
But it was cool. But the reason I brought that up is because we had a competition. We were selling the Warhead candies. Yeah. To try to get into like go on this trip to go see a play. I think we went to go see Wicked in San Antonio. So like the theater was going to go on a play with like the freshman group. Yeah. So we were like, okay, cool. Like you got to sell a certain amount, and that's when I really was like just doing everything I could. Like at all the baseball games I had around school, family events, I was just like selling these candies like crazy. Yeah. And that's another reason why I was like, man, like I love business. I love selling things at a young age. Of
course. Yeah, and in my bio, I always put that selling is like storytelling because you're selling the idea of, like if you're selling candy, you're selling the idea of how good it's gonna taste, or how scrumptious that piece of candy is, or how much it picas or whatever. You know? So if you fast forward now. You mentioned that you were at Tago at the restaurant, and you were working for Gold's Gym? Yeah,
I was with Gold's Gym at the time, and I was planning this event, and I was going to invite Brenda and them to the event. So I was there, and then that's when she has a huge personality. She was like, let me introduce you to all these guys over here. And
she came here to the podcast.
I was like, oh my gosh. I think I saw bits and pieces of that episode.
Yeah.
But that's when she introduced me to Mario and to all you guys from... the solar company. That's what. Okay,
I think I was there.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I don't think you were there yet. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I was there for just a little bit, and yeah, man, it's just a matter. I feel like networking's big. Like it's just a matter of taking those little opportunities and meeting someone and saying hi to people. I think that goes a long way, and I try to be really nice to people, like especially on those first encounters.
Right.
So
and then the second one, you're like, "Fuck you."
No. I try to stay really positive with everybody.
Nice.
Even like I guess like, how could you say this? Things have not gone so well. Yeah. Or like people that maybe have done you wrong. Yeah. Or maybe things like that. Like I still try to stay in good peace with them. Like I don't like keeping that bad energy or. Of course. I'm not one of those guys that'll be like, oh, screw them. Like.
Yeah, like I remember when you did this to me.
Yeah, I don't really hold a grudge. On good. People. I don't have like enemies.
That's good. Because
I don't think maybe a lot of people hate me, but and if they do, it's all good, man.
I mean, that's a good thing. I feel because I feel like it weighs you down sometimes because you're holding on to that past and you don't move forward with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Yeah. Especially down here in the valley, sometimes a lot of that whole culture of like toxicas and toxicos.
Oh yeah, no.
It's all about holding grudges.
Oh yeah, no, you see it a lot. And I try to, especially now with my faith and just the personal development that I've carried and that I've built up along the years, man, I really don't like to associate with negative people or that energy.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, I guess someone does. Some people do, right?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely, man. You go hang out with some people, and we've all been in those groups where you're hanging out with someone, and then
just talking
it's just
shit.
gossip about other people, and it's like, these people aren't even here.
Yeah,
I really don't like that. And, I've always tried to separate myself from that crowd.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it'll bring you in, and I'm sure I'm not perfect.
It's entertaining sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's
like, what? Who did what?
Yeah, it'll draw you in, man. That stuff will draw you in, but you have to really be, I guess, mentally tough and aware of the situation, and be like, okay, is this really serving me? Like,
right.
Do I want to be around these people that are just constantly just negative?
Yeah.
So it's either someone there or sometimes the sad part is it's people that are within that own group, and they're not there at the time. Oh, did you hear what this person did? And it's like, man, I don't like that,
Yeah. One of the things that caught my eye was that you were selling life insurance. Mm-hmm. Is that the correct title?
Yeah, so I'm an insurance broker. I have my health and my life license.
Got it.
So I'm a local independent agent here in like the Rio Grande Valley, and I sell life and health. With the health, we do like employee benefits for companies. Whether it's a big company or a small company, we'll go in there and we'll kind of evaluate the needs of what they have in place, or sometimes a lot of companies, they don't have anything in place. And it's a good way to get, affordable coverage for people that otherwise they might not be able to get it outside, like whether it's like Obamacare or Blue Cross or just like a dental plan. They might not be able to afford it, but when you come in with a group plan, it's more cost effective.
Yeah, because there's more people on it.
Yeah, it's more cost effective.
Yeah.
And how would you say this? It's also good with like employee retention, kind of boost the morale of like the company, because they're like, damn, I work for XYZ company, they got my back. They have me, they have a great benefits package for me. And when I've worked at other places, sometimes you would, and I'm sure a lot of people could probably attest to this, they've worked at a place, at a company, and they're okay, you have this plan, you got to sign now, and it's going to be this much deducted. But they're like, damn, well, I don't really know what I'm getting. Yeah. Like, I've had insurance before with companies, and I've never used them because I just didn't know, what it was, what it entailed, where to go. Yeah. So that's what we really pride ourselves on as a company of mine, is that we like to kind of bridge that gap and help work with like the companies, work with the HR directors, and kind of explain along the way as licensed agents and see what each individual needs. Because no person's the same, just like no business is the same. Yeah. You don't know, like sometimes they're like, oh man, they won't tell their employer, but man, my family, suffers from like cancer. There's cancer in my family. Yeah. But they won't tell their employer that. So we kind of go in there and... They
keep it on the low.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, well, we'll get you like a cancer plan that's affordable for you. Got it. Whatever it may be, which is pretty cool.
Cool, man.
That's on the health side.
Yeah. So what's the other side?
On the life insurance side, you could either go in as a group also.
Like a family?
Yeah. Well, a group as in like through the business.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of businesses, they'll offer life insurance.
So like, for example, like some of those companies where they have all those workers like in the middle of Texas, those oil rigs, like things like that.
Yeah. Actually, one of the companies we work with, it's a turbine company and a solar panel company, and they're from Canada, but they have I guess you could say a training facility here in San Benito. So we service them, and we do all their health and retirement planning, things like that. Oh, wow. So it could be boring, but it's also like interesting.
Well,
right?
it's
useful.
I feel like people are typically not thinking about that until it's there in front of them, where it's like, oh snap, I gotta take care of this. Yeah. And then that's where they're like, and I feel that's why I think marketing is important. And I've seen some of your videos that you've made. You're constantly producing content. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing, because I feel like, people are not thinking about it, and then they might come across your videos and they might go on about their day, they're in thinking it's in your in their conscience that you exist, right?
Definitely. And that's why I kind of started my page, really. Yeah. That's why I started the Insured by Leo on Instagram. Throw me a follow. There you go. But the reason I started that page, I was thinking about, was okay, I'd already been doing it. I had already been in the business for a couple of months, and I was like, there's not really, like, I know people do insurance. There's plenty of people in the world that do insurance. It's a billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, it's one of the most profitable.
Yeah, it's a big industry. Yeah. But I was like, there's really not especially here in our area, there's really no like young people. There's a bunch of like older people that do insurance. No offense to older people.
Yeah.
But
What is old?
but they're in the insurance game. And I was like, I'm one of the younger people in this insurance game.
Yeah.
And no one's like making like content about
Yeah.
it. So I was like, you know, let me kind of throw my own little touch, be myself, and kind of just make content, giving out value and like information. Really, it was never really like, oh, let me market and like try to get clients. Obviously, you got to like give, ask, and then you know I have my asks out there, but it was for that purpose of like, you know, let me kind of be different. Let me hit that market. There's not really anyone making content about insurance. It could be a boring subject, but it is, you know, it could possibly.
It's boring to the wrong people.
Yeah.
But when you're with the right person or client, it's not boring.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's I take a lot of pride in the fact that I get to protect families, especially with the life insurance side. Like, man, it really like breaks my heart because there's a lot of people, and my family went through it too, of their grandparents or abuelos, you know, they weren't prepared for a proper burial or for life insurance. Like they had nothing, you know, especially in our culture down here, you don't see.
They don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it. But then when they pass away, you're seeing the.
They're all going crazy like what do.
You're seeing the GoFundMes. You're seeing them sell chicken plates just to like bury a loved one.
That's true.
And it's, you know, it's sad because that happened to my family, and that's why I take a lot of pride in it, a lot of passion in it, because I don't want people to go through like what my family went through when my grandfather passed. You know.
Yeah.
And I like to educate people in that way and help protect them and get them the right amount of coverage, help their budget, because I am a broker, so I can shop around for them and find them the best plan instead of just pushing out. Oh, like you got to sign with Aflac, you got to sign with like Allstate. Like, no, let me see what's going to be the best fit for the client, and I'll help them out.
So it's kind of like you're shopping for them.
Yeah.
Which is saving them a lot of time and effort, so that you could do it, and then you present them like, this is plan A, plan B, or plan C, right?
Exactly.
So have you been living your whole life in the Valley?
Yes, man. Actually, man, I'm super humble. Like, I don't really travel at all. I mean, when I was playing baseball when I was younger, I was traveling a lot. I was going to like, you know, San Antonio, Dallas, like all throughout Texas, really, a little bit in New Mexico, a little bit in Louisiana. But I've basically like grew up in Mission my whole life. Lived in Westaco for a little bit, had an apartment over there.
Nice.
Lived in Sharyland for a little bit, and now I live like in Far.
Cool, man.
So yeah, I'm like a Far resident.
Nice.
You know?
Do you ever like? What's your goal with like? Because you mentioned traveling. Is there any places that you're like, I want to go there?
You know, I've never really had like, oh man, I want to. I see, especially with social media, I don't know why, but I just see so many people that are going to Tulum, they're going to freaking, you know, Europe, they're all across the United States, and I'm like, man, like, I don't know, it doesn't really like, oh shoot, I want to go travel. Yeah. I do want to travel, but maybe I'm not there yet mentally. Like, I have other goals in mind before going and seeing stuff.
Of course.
And I love being around family too. Like, I've always, people ask me like, oh man, I want to move out of the Valley. Like, do you want to move anywhere? I'm like, no, actually, I like it down here. Like, it's home, and I love being around my family.
Yeah.
But I guess if I were to go travel anywhere off the bat out of the United States, I would want to go visit Brazil. Brazil would be pretty awesome.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, I think Brazil would be tight. And then in the United States, I'm a nature guy, man. I would love to go visit the Grand Canyon.
Oh, nice.
I think the Grand Canyon would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, the Rio Grande the Rio Grande River goes all the way up there. I'm not sure.
Oh, for real?
I think so. Because it borders all of Texas, the South region, and then like by El Paso, it goes up.
Oh, shoot.
Into like Colorado. I'm not sure.
They're everywhere, man. Valley's everywhere, baby.
I'm just saying. So like you were saying that you're a young broker, right? Has that ever been an issue when you're like meeting with a client and they like judge you on your age?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And how do you handle something like that?
It could be a little, it could be like, not demoralizing, but like, what's the word for it? Like, it will bring your spirit down a little bit.
Right.
Especially as a salesperson, people that are out there in sales, it could be tough, man, when you're out there and being in this insurance field. There's people like, I'll go meet with a business owner, and they'll be like, hey, this guy doesn't know his stuff, or, you know, they don't give you the same
respect.
The same respect, I guess you could say, or you know, they won't take that value in. So you really got to roll with the punches and ask the right questions. I feel, you know.
Yeah.
So it definitely has, to answer your question. Yeah, sometimes it could be an issue.
Yeah.
I feel like in anything too. Like if you do anything, people are always going to judge you. They're not going to think that you're capable of doing it. I guess it really goes with presenting yourself, right? You know, the way you present yourself, and you telling yourself that too.
Yeah.
You know, if you believe that you can do it, you're going to go into that meeting, and that's what really changed for me. Because when I first got into the game, man, I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know it all, and I'm still learning every day. In the field, there's always something to learn, and whatever you do, there's always something to learn. You're never going to know it all.
Yeah.
And if someone says they know it all, they're lying, you know? And maybe that you don't want to work with that person either. You want to be with someone that's constantly innovating and learning in their field, in whatever field it is. So that was something that really hindered me at the beginning. Because I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I would go into meetings already with like, you know, my right foot back, you know, and
like
only
ready
one
to strike.
Yeah, only 1 foot forward because I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know, and I'm like, I don't think I can do it. I didn't think I can handle it. Yeah. So it took me a while to like, you know what? Who cares? Just go in there, even if you don't know it all. Act like you know it all. Yeah. And it's all about asking the right questions. And if they ask you a question you don't understand, just simply like be straight up with people. Like, all right, ma'am, I honestly like 95% on that question. But let me get with my team, and I'll get you an answer. You know, 100% answer by the end of the day. And people will take a lot more value in that rather than people that'll just go BS their way and, oh, I know this, that, and they're giving you the complete wrong information. People would rather have you be straight up. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that. But let me get back to you. And people will take that all day long.
So what's one of the biggest misconceptions that you normally get from people that you meet up with and that you're trying to, you know, get them in a plan? What's the biggest thing?
Actually, I dealt with someone today where they wanted like a life insurance plan, and they didn't know if they can use it. They thought that life insurance was just, there's life insurance that you can use even if you don't pass away. Like you can use it before you pass away. That's what I'm trying to say.
How would you use it?
There's a thing called cash value. So life insurance, if you do like a whole life plan, an index plan, that's something that's going to have cash value that builds up throughout the life of your policy. You're able to use that money to either fund retirement. That's what a lot of people do. They'll like get life insurance to fund retirement, or you can use it for really whatever you'd like, because it's tax-free income you can take out down the road if you do need it. You know, so that's one misconception a lot of people don't have about life insurance. Yeah, is the cash value aspect, that you don't have to die to access that money. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, so that's what's pretty cool about life insurance. Certain plans, right? You have to have the right plan. There's plans that are just strictly if you pass away, right? That's one misconception. Another misconception too is like people will have insurance through their employer, and they're like, okay, yeah, I already have life insurance with my employer, but they're unaware that there's a lot of loopholes in that. So you got to really like talk to your HR and figure out, okay, what does this life insurance really give me? Because sometimes they'll have, okay, we're giving you $10,000 because you work here with Walmart, but you might see that it's accidental death. So only if you pass away due to an accident. Damn. Only if you pass away like on the job, like if you pass away there within the premises. Wow. So a lot of times people will be like, okay, I'm covered, but they don't really understand the, you know, what it's really entailing.
All the details.
Yeah, all the details. And then don't get me wrong, there's places probably have great coverage, but I'm just saying like know what you have, right? You just want to know what you have so you can really attest to that. What I like to take my clients through, it's called DIME. DIME. So it's an acronym. It stands for debt, income, mortgage, education. Debt, you want to see how much debt does a client have, like does a breadwinner have? Because if you were to pass away, that debt is going to stay with your family. Like someone's going to have to pay that. Yeah, you get me? A lot of people are like, oh shoot. So that's something you're leaving behind. You want to take in consideration how much income are you bringing in to that family. So what I like to tell people, if they have family members or there's someone that depends on your income, you definitely need life insurance. You definitely want to match that income if you were to pass away, to give them some time to recuperate. Mortgage, so if someone has a mortgage or whatever they're paying for their house, their business, their rent, right? That's where mortgage would come into play. And then education. If you have kids, are you going to want to send them to college? You want to leave something when you pass away that they can use for their school education, which is really powerful. Because a lot of people, you know, especially in our area too, that no one really plans for college too.
Yeah.
Right.
So if someone is interested in like, you know, like, cause you're talking about this acronym DIME, which is debt, income, mortgage,
education.
and education. Like, if someone is interested in learning about this type of stuff, do you do like home visits, or do they go to your office, or how does that work?
I have an office. It's located there off the expressway in McAllen. It's by a Rosina coffee shop too. A lot of people know that coffee shop. I didn't know about it, but they have great coffee, by the way.
Yeah.
Really cool place. But usually I'll have people come by the office if that works for them. A lot of times we're working with businesses, so I'm out at particular businesses working with like the employer, the employees, or I could go do home visits. I haven't really done that many visits where I go to someone's house. It's happened. But usually people feel comfortable like going to an office or things like that. But definitely, you know, I'm versatile. I can go.
Of course.
I can move around. A little burp.
Oh, no. Anything's allowed. So speaking of life, so when you're secured with life insurance and those benefits that you're talking about, what's the difference, you think, in how a person feels about, do they feel more secure, or what are those changes that you normally see when a client doesn't have that versus when a client finally gets it? Is there any differences?
Yeah, it's really the peace of mind. Because don't get me wrong, like insurance has been the hardest thing I've ever sold. Like it's not a walk in the park. It's tough. Because because it's not a service. It's not a product. It's not a shirt that I can grab and buy off the rack.
Yeah.
It's something they might never see.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't know about those other benefits. So you got to show them those benefits, show them how they work. So people are like, oh my gosh, like they don't really know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes when especially just like life insurance, it's a hard sell because it's what is it? A lot of people don't, you know, they don't know. So I really don't tell people like life insurance isn't really life insurance, you know, because if you get like phone insurance, you break your phone, you get a new phone.
Yeah.
You get car insurance, you damage your car, they replace your car or they fix those damages. You get life insurance, you don't get another life, you know what I'm saying? So it's really income replacement insurance for your loved ones. There is added benefits, and you can go into that like for retirement purposes. So you're really selling someone on that peace of mind of, do you want your family to be protected and leave a legacy behind of generational wealth for their family? You get me? So it's a tough sell because a lot of people are like, they don't see past right here, right now.
Of course.
And they can't really grab it. It's not tangible. So it's tough to like, oh shoot, get that. You really got to sell them on their feeling of like, okay, what are you more scared of? Do you want to leave behind just $10,000 for a burial? Or do you want to leave behind $1 million to your wife and kids? I'm like, oh, cool. You know, let me do that. Yeah. So it's really tough, and you got to ask the right questions. But even then, man, you could tell everybody the reasons they need it, and if they do not want it, I've worked with very hard people, and they will just be like, no. You're like, damn, like, are you sure? Like, you have nothing in place.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even have like a burial coverage, and they'll be like, no, I don't care, I don't want it. So you're like, oh my gosh, but you got to just be professional and, you know, roll the punches, take that. But it is tough. You do play on the feelings. Yeah. So it could be a difficult sell. You
have to have your finger on the pulse, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So are those type of conversations when you're with a client, are they more like I guess hopeful, or are they more like remorse, like sad, because you are talking about, you know, death in a way, right? So what's been the most common, I guess, vibe from people? Are they like, oh, I'm happy to be doing this, or are they more like, okay, well, I better get this because I'm gonna need it?
It goes both ways. Some people are like, oh man, I need it, and you never know, man. Like, no, if just because someone tells you no doesn't mean no right now. They just might not, you know, they might not get it. You may not be presenting it properly, and sometimes I haven't presented things properly. But I always do my best because I'm like, I want to protect that person's family, right? So I try to do my best to convey the message in a way that they can grasp it. And at that point, I let them decide if they want it or not. And at some point, someone's going to be like, okay, this makes sense. Let's do it. And they'll get it. And they'll be like, okay, I do it because I need to do it. There's people that do that. There's also people that they'll feel like, wow, like they've had something tragic in their family happen, just like something that's happened in my family.
Of course.
And you get to the deep roots of that, and then you help them, and they're like, man, thank you so much. Like they feel really grateful for that experience of the peace of mind. Like, wow, okay, my family is secure. You know, they could kind of go throughout their days knowing, hey, God forbid something happens, because nothing's promised. My family will be okay. So those are the people that really were like, man, like they're very, very, I guess the vibe you're saying is like they're very like hopeful and they're like thankful for it. There's people that do it because they know they need to do it, you know, but it could go both ways. And either way, I feel like, man, I'm helping somebody out. So it's cool. Yeah.
So what motivated you to go into this career path? Was there anything in particular that led you to here?
So I had gone recruited by a financial advising company. That's when I first got my life license. And I was kind of working that, and I liked it, but it was very recruit based. And I'm sure people have like seen those companies too, where it's kind of like pyramid scheming in a way, and you're having to recruit a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's mouth-to-mouth marketing.
Yeah.
Like they don't use billboards or television, or like they it's all like peer-to-peer.
Yeah. It was very much like that, and it was a financial advising company. They weren't selling people on life insurance, but they were using those benefits I say for financial advising and for retirement planning, for I guess people also call it infinite banking, where you're the bank. When people say that, they're using life insurance for those purposes. So that was my first little taste in it.
Yeah.
And I was doing that part-time. But it wasn't until I actually talked to my tío. They've been in the industry for a while now.
Life insurance.
Yeah, they've been in the insurance, and they do health and life, employee benefits and everything. So they were like, Leo, if you were to get your health license, your income will really increase. You have more opportunities. You'll be able to work with companies for their benefit packaging. And I'm like, man, it's really interesting. And I was ready for that change. I knew I wanted to be like my own boss, kind of do my deal. So I was like, okay, let me study up, and studied, and I got my health license. I passed my test in the first run.
How long was that process, like, of that study?
It could take, like, for my life license, it took me like maybe a month to get it. For the health license, it took me maybe a week. I crammed it in. I was just like every night studying. I was at the McAllen Public Library, just like studying. And then I went and took my test, and it was very nerve-wracking because you're in that. Those testing sites, there's like cameras all up on you. You're having to wear like headphones, and you're like doing this test. And you know, like, okay, if I pass this, I got business lined up that I can go work. I could start, I could start getting clients. If I fail, I got to retake, and you got to pay for the exam too. So it's like, damn, it could be a little nerve wracking, but it's a faster process. So it's faster than like doing like maybe like getting licensed for like real estate or something like that. It's a faster process if you. If you apply yourself.
So I want to go back to something you said, that you've been in the Valley your whole life. What does that term Puro 956 mean to you?
That's a very funny question. What does the term Puro 956 mean
to you?
To me.
And I try to ask that to everybody, and I sometimes get different responses, so I'm interested in.
What does that term mean to me?
Yeah, what is that?
That term, Puro 956, means being very prideful in where you come from, and being, I guess you could say, not ashamed to rep the 956, rep the Rio Grande Valley. You get me? There's a lot of people that, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't wait to move out of here. Oh, I hate it here. Yeah. I love it here. You get me? And saying Puro 956 means like, hey, this is where we're from. Yeah. And I love it. You get me? So to me, it comes with pride of like knowing, being prideful where you come from, not being ashamed of where you come from. That's what it means to me.
Do you feel confident enough to be like a tourist for someone, or like a guide for a tourist that comes down here and they were to ask you, Leo, what are like the 5 places I should go visit? What would you say? 5 places to go visit. Like definitely like this might not be a 1 through 5, right? This is not like in a chronological order, but anyway. 5 top places to visit in the 956 would definitely be the Santa Ana Refuge. I'm a nature guy, so it's a beautiful place. Everyone loves to go take pictures on that bridge. I'm sure y'all have seen it. Yes. That's one place. I don't drink anymore, but I know the going out scene is very cool. So like Uptown,
downtown is like a cool scene, right? That's a cool spot.
So nature and then wild, the wild.
Yeah, the real wild. That's a cool spot. I would also say this couldn't be like an actual, a combination of spots, but like the food scene here is actually really big. I love there's different restaurants and taquerias that you can go to.
In every corner.
In every little corner, man. The food scene would be a spot. I guess not a particular spot, but something to...
Wherever your nose takes you.
Yeah, wherever your taste buds take you, right?
Yeah.
That'd be one thing to view. Obviously, the beach. I don't know if, right? The beach, would the beach count?
Oh, I mean, I think so. We tend to, not really pay attention to it
right?
because we're right next to it. But I feel like a lot of people come down for the beach.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I don't think there's another beach in Texas that's Galveston is not that pretty.
No, I lived in Houston for a little bit, and it's not that great.
And then other than Corpus Christi, I feel like...
The only time I ever went to the beach in Corpus, it was just jellyfish everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I walked up to the beach with my family, and then kids are just running out of the beach, all stung by jellyfish. I'm like, I'm leaving. So I left instantly. Yeah. So I didn't really experience it. But I guess beach would be on there. If we're talking more here in this area, the mall, obviously. The mall's a great spot to go.
The one in McAllen or which one?
Huh?
The one in McAllen or which mall?
The Plaza Mall. Yeah, the one in McAllen, obviously, yeah. Obviously, there's the outlets, but I don't know. Do people still go to the outlets?
Yeah, I
really don't know.
Some of my family goes over there.
Outlets.
So that's 5 already.
Yeah, that's 5.
So the nature walk, which was in the Santa
Ana Refuge.
The wild in uptown and downtown. Mm-hmm. The restaurant spot, the beach, and then the last one was what?
What did we say? Damn.
I forgot.
What did we say?
Oh, the mall.
The mall. Yeah, the mall. The mall's a cool spot. Shopping. There's a lot of shopping here.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many other things to do, man. I've done, like Tipsy Canvas is a place. It's really fun.
I've gone there. It's nice.
Painting. There's the place that a lot of people haven't been in a while, but I used to always go, is the IMA's art museum. The art museum is really beautiful. It's a really cool place to go.
What about the? Are you a dancing guy? Do you dance?
I know. I know how to country dance a little bit.
Well, the reason why I ask is because I met a few people that are not from the valley, and the first thing that comes to their mind is I want to go to a salsa bar or go dance wapango or go dance something that's been the number one thing that's funny. That they're I want to go dance. That's always the thing when it comes to people that are not from here.
No, I'm not good at dancing like wapangos or cumbias or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm very tall, so I'm not that great of a dancer.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Damn,
that's what most people don't know. They'll see me on social media or from different things, and they'll see me in person, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's freaking tall."
Yeah.
And everyone says "Oh, did you play basketball?" And I actually didn't play basketball. I played baseball.
Yeah, I would have been
Yeah, I know. I'm okay at basketball. That's one. I don't have any regrets, but that's one thing I was like, man, I really wish I would have played and pursued it. I wonder how good I would have been. But I ended up playing baseball, and I played baseball for a little bit.
What position?
I was a pitcher, and I was first base. I'm left-handed.
Oh, wow.
So in baseball, if you're left-handed, you're kind of limited to the positions you can play.
Oh, okay.
So I played a little bit. I played in...
But when you're batting, though, that's supposed to be an advantage, I feel.
When you're left-handed, it's good. It's also good for pitching, too.
Yeah.
Because usually left-handed pitchers, they're harder to hit off of.
Yeah.
Because it's just coming from a different side. Usually everyone's right-handed.
Yeah.
So it's a different angle. People, they don't like hitting off left-handed pitchers. But yeah, I played baseball. I was really passionate about baseball. Mm-hmm. I grew up playing baseball. My dad was my coach all my life. Bro. Learned a lot of lessons playing baseball. Met a lot of great people, and I love baseball,
nice.
Man. Yeah.
So, when it comes to your family, do you have a lot of brothers and sisters, or you're only child?
It's me, and I have 2 little brothers.
Oh, wow.
And they're actually twins.
Wow.
Yeah. I got 2 little brothers. They're twins.
Are they also tall?
They've recently got a little growth spurt. They're 17 now.
Yeah.
But they used to be small. I guess because they're like twins, so like split the height.
Yeah. So is your dad the
My
tall
dad's
one or the
6'3".
mom?
My dad's 6'3".
Oh, okay.
And my mom's 5'7", which down in the valley is
That's
still
tall.
pretty tall.
Yeah, that's tall.
But yeah, man. Life of a tall person can be a little tough sometimes, I will say.
All the women are always looking for a tall guy, so I think
I mean, yes.
You got...
Yes and no, because sometimes there's girls that are just like way too short. And it's like, okay, I can't even I don't even want a girl that's short like that.
What's too short?
I have a rule, like if she's like 5'5", she has to be 5'5" and up. And 5'5" is like still like pushing.
Well, it's gonna be hard, bro.
No, it's tough. I mean, I met a couple. Yeah. And I was looking for the tall girls, but
because I'm 5'8", and most girls are a little bit like 5'5" and below.
Oh yeah, down here, yes. Yeah, there is a lot of short girls, short people in general. Yeah, which could be cool, and sometimes it's very like growing up. I was super insecure about it. That's one thing. People were like, "Oh man, that's tall. Like it must be. I would love to be tall."
I would have thought it different.
And it's like, dude, when I was growing up, I felt like super insecure about it, really? Like because I was just tall from a young age. Yeah. So like from, I guess middle school, I was already 6 foot. Like as a sixth grader, I was already 6 foot tall. So you can imagine I was like, I just felt like I stood out. And then, kids are jerks, man. People are like, call me a giant, call me Bigfoot, call me this and that. So I was like,
they're just bored. They got nothing else to do.
Yeah. So I felt it took me a while to kind of just embrace it. Yeah. So I used to like walk, and my mom would always get mad at me, like, yeah, put your shoulders back. And I would always walk, like, because I didn't want to stand out like that. Yeah. And it wasn't until I really fully embraced it and was like, you know what, I don't care. Yeah. And which is cool, man. That's why I'm always, when I see people that have insecurities or anything like that, I always tell them, like, man, just overcome it. Like, who cares what anyone thinks? Right? Because we all have insecurities. And even the people that are like, oh, man, that person's gorgeous. That person's so handsome. Like, even those people, if you were to talk to them, they're just like everybody else. And they're probably insecure about something that you were like, what? Like, you're beautiful. And they're like, oh, I hate my freaking nose. And it's like, what? Like,
or I hate my fingers.
Or something so random. And it's like, nah. So I just come to like really just, love yourself for yourself. Okay. And so that's why I always try to like preach that. Definitely.
Are you single?
Because I overcame it. Yes, I am.
So what's your dream woman? Put it out at the universe so that when she watches this podcast.
A dream woman.
What's your those traits? You said that she had to be tall.
So she's got to be 5'5" and up. 5'5", like you're not. I'm still gonna have to debate you a little bit. Yeah, like if you wear heels, like we can work. One of the biggest ones for me lately has been I want someone that's very in tune with their faith and knows what they want.
Faithful.
Faithful.
Yeah.
I guess with their like religion.
Christian? Are you Christian?
I'm Christian.
Okay, wait.
And somebody that's like, because I've been in relationships that are not. Yeah. They might not be believers.
It doesn't work out.
Yeah, and my dad would always tell me, and I never understood it until as of recent, and he would always tell me, and I believe it's in the Bible as well, you don't want to be unequally yoked. Oh, okay. Which is meaning that two different, beliefs, sometimes they're not going to mesh perfectly together. There's going to be something along the lines that where it could falter. So I've always been ethical of like, okay, I want to get some of this, I want that. And that was also me. I wasn't mature in certain areas of my life, and my belief wasn't fully there too, with my faith. So I think being faithful is something crucial, and also someone that can that's understanding. Because being in business, having a career as you get older, you can't talk to someone all day. And I used to be someone, I was like, me too. I was like, I want to talk to someone all day. But then it took me to understand, like, all right, I got to do my own thing and have this person do their own thing and have that trust that, okay, they're there for me. They're getting their work done. I'm getting my work done. At the end of the day, all right, let's break bread. Let's see what we accomplished the other day.
Because sometimes when you're talking all day and you finally get together, you're like, well, what do we got to talk about now?
Yeah, definitely, man. So someone tall, definitely. Faithful, someone strong in their faith, a believer. And then I guess we could throw a funny one in there. Someone that loves to cook, because I love to cook. So if homegirl can cook, then we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
So tall, religious, and can cook.
Oh yeah, all day long.
Okay, well, I think 2 of those are not going to be hard. The only one might be the tall, but you never know.
Yeah, we can find. There's actually there's some tall girls, but I don't know. I'm not really focused on that right now. I don't focus on that. I'll let whatever comes to me. But I think you can't really be looking. You know, a lot of people.
Because then you never find it, and then when you're not looking, they come and find you. Yeah,
definitely. You got to be focused on your purpose. Focus on your journey.
Yeah.
Focus on your goals, and then you'll attract what needs to be attracted. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, me personally, I used to take that of like too much of like, okay, I want to, and I think I saw a podcast with Matthew McConaughey, and he was talking about a lot of people, they need it too much. Mm-hmm. They need something too much. Like Matthew McConaughey was talking about how he was trying to get these auditions, and he was trying to find a wife, and he was just needing it too much. Mm-hmm. Like at every red light, he would like look around, okay, is she there? Is she there? It wasn't until he finally became in tune with himself, and he talked to God one day. He was like, you know what? If I don't end up with anyone, can I live with that? Is that okay? Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know what? I'll be fine. And once that happened, then he found his wife. And I thought that was, man, that's really beautiful. That's really cool. That's exactly how it works, man. You can't need it too much in life. Mm-hmm. You can want things, but you can't need it. Mm-hmm. You got to just do what your purpose is. Yeah. Chase your journey, chase your goals, focus on yourself. Mm-hmm. And in that, everything else will fall into place.
What are Leo's goals?
Man, I have a lot of goals. Do you
want to share one?
One would be, one of my goals is to be a millionaire. That's one of my goals. Nice. That's one of my goals because I don't really come from much. Very humble, but one of my goals is to be a millionaire. And one of my goals is to have a family also. Like I want to have
tall family.
A tall family. Yeah, definitely. My kids are definitely playing sports. That's a requirement too. We're having kids that are playing sports. Okay. But no, yeah. So, yeah. Nice. Millionaire and have a family. Those are goals of mine.
Nice, man. Wow.
And help as many people as I can in the process, and whatever it may be. I love business, so it could be. Right now, it's insurance. Mm-hmm. But I'm getting ready to launch a clothing brand or relaunch my clothing brand. Oh, wow. That I had. It was, man, I created it back in like 2018, actually. Really? Yeah, it was a fitness apparel brand. Oh, wow. It's called Without Limit Apparel. Some of the OG Leo friends, they'll know they know the brand. Nice. I still see it today. Like I'll go to the gym and I'll see people like repping the brand, and it's like, damn, what the heck? Like, so people still have those shirts.
Did you have like an online shop?
Yeah, I have a website. I created a website from scratch. It's called withoutlimitapparel.com. You can still go to the website, but you can't purchase anything just yet. We're gearing up, working with some investors, and we're getting ready to do a big launch. We're kind of switching it from workout apparel to more of like a lifestyle brand to help empower people. Nice. So it's pretty cool. I'm big on like I've always have ideas and visions. Yeah. It's a matter of putting them to work. Perfect. But yeah, Without Limit is coming soon, my friends. Don't worry, guys. I know it's been a drought, but we're coming back. We're making a comeback. COVID hit us. Yeah. So we're making a comeback. So that's another dream of mine, and then. Another as of recent, a dream and a project I've been working on is my own podcast. I'm the host of the Purpose Journey podcast that I recently started. Nice. And my dream is to take that to the moon, interview a lot of big business moguls and interesting people within the space, creators. So that's what that podcast is all about.
Thank you for coming to this one.
No, yeah, for sure, man. We got real recognize real. Yeah, recognize real.
And what would you say to your younger self? Because you mentioned that when you were in middle school, you would walk with your shoulders down. Now that you're, I don't know, do you feel like you're in your prime? No, because I'm not where I want to be. Okay. I'm someone that I guess I'm calm because I know, hey, this is God's plan right now. God's going to put whatever in my life that needs to be in my life. That's something I had to come to realization. However, I would tell my younger self to be yourself, right? Be yourself. And you're probably like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Be yourself and not worry about what other people think. I used to always want to oh man, are they talking behind my back, or did I leave this person with a bad impression? Be yourself. Don't worry about what other people think, but treat everybody with love and care. That's something I would tell my younger self, because I used to be a little, resentful, because I was resentful to myself.
Yeah.
So then I started being resentful to other people, in different ways. And sometimes you may be insecure, so then you overplay your confidence, and you're like, oh, I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
Now I just try to leave an impression on everybody of just overall love, man, because there's so much hate in this world.
Yeah.
I think if everybody were to just be a little bit nicer throughout the day, whether it's opening a door for somebody, helping a literally yesterday, and not to like brag, but I think I'd rather brag about something that's good.
Yeah.
I helped this old man. I just got done running. I helped this old man. He was pushing a lawnmower.
Oh, wow.
I guess he was heading to his house. He was like a very old man. He was pushing a lawnmower. He had like a hitch in his walk.
Yeah.
I did a U-turn, got honked at. People were like, what the heck is this guy? I pulled up next to him, like put his lawnmower in my truck.
Oh, wow.
And gave him a ride. Just random. I think he might have even been homeless or something, but yeah, man, just doing little things that people don't see on an everyday basis, because right now there's just so much hate. It baffles me, because I am the type of person that I'll walk by somebody, a complete stranger, and I'll like look at them, wave at them, hey, how you doing? People will give you the weirdest looks. Like if you start doing that, weirdo. People are like, what's this random person like waving at me? Yeah. It's so weird. Like, it's so taboo nowadays just to be human and nice to people, Yeah. People are like, they'll look at you weird, Yeah,
they rather you text them than talk on the phone.
Yeah, man, it's really weird. But I would like, I guess you could say, encourage. I would encourage people, be a little nice. Be a little extra nice today. And whatever it may be. If you talk to that one person at work that you hate talking to, and you've gossiped about them before, or maybe they've done you wrong, go be nice to that person.
Yeah.
Even be nice to the people that have done you wrong. You'll just see how your life will change. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you just go be nice to that random person, not expect anything in return.
Yeah.
Even your biggest enemy.
Of course.
Man, it goes a long way, and it makes you ultra confident in your own skin, because you're like, man, I'm just loving on everybody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just want to hate on everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's tough to do, and you got to understand a lot of people are going to look at you weird.
Yeah.
But man, just spread love and spread positivity. It'll go a long way. Be a little bit extra nice.
Yeah. And so, speaking of like people that are negative, I have this like thing. I mean, not that I hate it, but like every time you go to like a restaurant or go buy something, if the employee has like a very bad attitude, it always makes me feel like, man, like bad about the purchase, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure.
Especially if you're like face to face, you would like to have that person smile at least, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're in any, obviously in what you do with your career, you want to be that, and a lot of people put on that front, right? Sometimes it's okay to put on. I would say if you're really struggling with it, hey, put on a front. And sometimes that'll make it a little bit easier to get genuine responses. So that's big. But a lot of times too, like say we've all had that experience where someone is just being completely nasty to you, or you go to a restaurant, they give terrible service.
Yeah.
Instead of hating on that person, I like to kind of put myself in their shoes. Man, what are they going? They might be going through something today. They might, have a test tomorrow, and they've been studying all night. They didn't sleep good. They're stressing. I kind of have a little bit more,
Yeah, of course.
I'm not someone that complains when I get my order wrong or anything like that.
No, it's more like when when they're taking your order or something, they like don't want to see your face. They like have their like face down.
Oh, okay. You're talking about people that are avoiding confrontation a little bit?
I wouldn't call it confrontation, but just like, like you said, being human, like if you're taking someone's order, like look at the person's face and, not necessarily, avoiding eye contact. And
I test that one to my pops, because he was someone that, even when he was teaching us baseball, like after practice, he would like teach us how to shake hands, which is random. Like no one does that, but he was like, okay, this is the way you shake someone's hand. Like you grab their hand firm, look them in the eye. That's how you shake somebody's hand. Yeah. So like little things like that I feel like have kind of gone away in society. Yeah. But yeah, man, look someone in the eye and leave a mark on somebody in a positive way. It feels amazing. It honestly does. And it's cool knowing that, man, especially with today's day and age of like, also like, I guess we're gonna get a little deep here, but like mental health. Man, you like, again, going back, you don't know what someone's going through, and you could just be someone and just give a compliment. I try to do that. Like, I'll give a random compliment to someone, like, oh man, those are some cool shoes, bro. Oh, thanks, man. Like, random person. You know, and you never know, man. You know, they could be needing that one compliment. Because I know there's days where when I wasn't feeling too hot, and a random person would be like, "Hey, what's up, man? You're super tall. That's awesome." I'll be like,
I am.
"Damn, I guess I'm tall." Yeah, yeah. But no, man, it goes a long way. It definitely goes a long way.
So, what's the biggest difference between someone going to someone else for their needs for insurance and all that type of stuff, and coming to you? What do you think is the biggest reason why someone should come with you and not someone else?
I would say one, because I'm independent. I'm not gonna be biased and push something down their throat that might not serve them. So that's one of the biggest reasons. Two, just because I feel like I care a little bit more, and I'm gonna get to the reasoning behind the buy, and I really assess their needs of what kind of coverage is gonna be best fit for them. So I feel like those are the two reasons.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't really. Me personally, I don't need someone to come to me. Like I had to detach myself from the sale.
Yeah.
That's something I always try to do. And I used to not. I used to be like, oh, I gotta close. But now I'm to the point where like, hey, if they want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't. I'm gonna be fine regardless. I'm gonna get mine. I'm good. And in that, you have more success, I feel. But a lot of salesmen, and me personally too, I was like always like fixated on, oh, cool, the dollar amount. Oh, cool, like I get another client. I was just focused on me. When I started focusing on other people, that's when it started really clicking for me. And even then, I'm still getting better every day. I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's good.
Learning is a big thing too. Yeah.
Because if you stop learning, you're gonna be thinking like, oh, I'm the best.
Yeah, learning's a big thing. I guess like another thing I'm big on is like personal development and whatever you do. Selling's huge. I watch a lot of sales tips, business content, read a lot of books. Got recently into reading a lot, but I used to be an audiobook guy. Now I'm big on actually physically reading.
Yeah, I like audiobooks.
Yeah, I got into like physically reading. Sometimes you're on the go, so it's good to pop in an audiobook. But yeah, I would say that like if you're just always constantly feeding yourself junk, that's all you're going to be thinking of is just junk and you know, just music that's not going to serve you.
For sure.
So I like to turn my vehicle that I'm driving in or wherever I'm going into like a library, into like a little university. Because I'm always learning on the go, you know, or even when I'm working out, I'll be popping in like an audiobook or a podcast with somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. Do you have a favorite, I guess, would you call it like person to listen to for tips or anything like that?
As of recent, my number one guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, his name is Myron Golden.
I have not.
Really, really good stuff. He does business, but he refers it back to the Bible, which is really interesting. So he has a lot of business tips. He'll like say some business tips and revert it back to like a book in the Bible, like King Solomon, or like in tips of value through Genesis chapter 1. Yeah. Super interesting, and it kind of like brings it back to the basics. So like, oh damn, like this is what this person did millions, thousands, trillions of years ago. Yeah. And those same principles apply today. That's what's really interesting. Myron Golden's a big one. Alex Hormozy.
I know the guy.
Alex Hormozy's.
I'm trying to grow my hair like him.
I see that vibe. Alex Hormozy's really good. He just recently dropped another book, but I'm actually reading his last book, $100 Million Offers. Yeah. That book's crazy. That's the knowledge that's in that book.
I'm amazed sometimes with his YouTube videos that he puts out for free. And he's like literally just putting out content where he paid like $10,000 for free. Yeah.
That's what, going back to like my insurance page that I created, he's one that kind of got me over the hump of like, just do it. Excuse me. Because a lot of times I was like, I don't want to put myself out there like that. I don't want to go make an Instagram page and about insurance. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't know that much. And he had a post where he was talking about, hey man, you don't got to be a professional yet, and don't try to be. If you go post like, oh, I'm the best at this and that, and you're not, people are going to see that. But if you post, hey, I'm not the best, I'm learning it right now, follow me on my journey, people are like, that's real. They're gonna see it. You know, they'll rather follow that. And also the fact that he's a big one too on like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who literally cares who's watching your content? You know, what are they gonna say? There's probably, if they're looking, I'm sure people have seen my stuff and like, oh, this guy's an idiot. I don't care. You know, you can't. It's tough because you're gonna put it out and know you're subject to someone be like, dude, look at this idiot. He sounds stupid, or this guy knows nothing about insurance or whatever. It's subject to that, but you gotta know, like, hey, if that's the price I gotta pay to help somebody out or to increase my business, I'm gonna do it. And you just gotta do it, man. That's the biggest one for me, for sure.
Love that, bro. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you would like to get off your chest? Anything you want to just share?
No, not really. I think we cover a lot, man.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And how did I do without having a bio?
Pretty good. I think, dude, I just got an idea. Now I need to have you on my podcast.
Really?
Oh, I'm down.
I don't want to do a bio though.
You know, it's not a bio. What I do differently on my podcast, well, mine is the Purpose Journey podcast.
Right.
So I try to I ask all my clients, so you ask the Puro 956.
Yeah.
I ask all the guests what's their definition of purpose. And we get a little deep in there. We hear different things. I'm all about, the reason I created the Purpose Journey, because I've been chasing my purpose, right?
What's your purpose?
Right now, my purpose is to do what God put me on this earth to do and help serve other people. And spread love and peace, like I said earlier. I feel like that's my purpose.
Love that.
And that can go into a bunch of different realms. That could be, selling insurance.
Yeah.
It might not seem like it, but hey, I'm helping protect someone, helping to serve that person.
Yeah.
Right? It could be selling a t-shirt, the way that shirt makes them feel, right? Giving somebody a service. And in that, you find true purpose when you're fulfilling these little things.
Love that.
So that's what I try to do for people in my day-to-day and what I do. So that's what I feel like my purpose is, but also it could change, right? It could grow from that. It could outward spread. That's why I called it the Purpose Journey, because I feel like it's a constant journey, chasing your purpose in everything you do. And it's all about inspiring others and hearing crazy stories, hearing great success stories about where someone came from to where they are now and how they did it along the way. You know, in anything, XYZ. It could be a business, could be music, could be being an artist.
Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting, and that's the whole point behind the podcast, is trying to inspire people.
I like that question because it really makes you think about like what your why is. And I've always struggled with like defining what my why is, because it could be so many things, right? You have obviously your family that you want to help, and then you also have like some of the things that you want to accomplish, and then you have some of your things that you hope to get, like material things. So you're like trying to like figure out, okay, well, can we define it to a more specific thing that regardless of like, even if you have a bad day, you're still gonna continue regardless.
Yeah.
So I guess my purpose would be to try to be the best storyteller I can to help people. Because like I mentioned, I feel with stories, I see it as like selling. You know, you sell a story to someone, it's like you're selling an idea. Yeah. So I'm trying to become. I'm not saying I'm good, because you know, like you mentioned, you always have to be learning. Yeah. Especially now with like social media, like before, like maybe like even 3 years ago, it's not the same type of like way to market yourself on social media. It's changed now. It's more like people's attention spans have gotten smaller. Oh yeah. And if they don't like it in the first few seconds, they skip. So you have to like find, okay, well, how do I adapt to that? How do I find the best hook to catch that person to continue watching? So it's all like story driven, I feel. So I feel like that's my purpose, to be the best storyteller you can be. Storyteller I can be.
I love that. No, that's really, I think you do a great job of it, man.
Thank you.
And going back to the thing of like, where we say, I think I'm good at it, like we're always learning. Yes, always be learning, but be confident what you are right now, right? Like if you know you've fulfilled on all those things that you said you were going to do, and you're truly confident, and you know you're not the place you want to be, but you're getting better. Yeah. That's where I feel like you can find like, hey, I'm not the best, but I'm the best right now, and I'm gonna get better. So like, what's up?
Sure.
You know, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I think that's really big. But yeah, man, I think that's what it's all about. Just being unique and being, 110% yourself at the end of the day goes a long way for sure.
Nice. I'll give you a guess of how long the podcast is.
I'm new to the podcast game, bro. You're above me, but I would say this one has been 40 minutes.
It's about to be an hour.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
We rambled.
No, I think it was good. But
I like, for instance, like this last podcast I did was like the one I'm dropping is I'm dropping a 35-minute podcast, but we recorded like an hour worth of stuff, so I had to really go in there. I don't edit. You don't edit. You just go through. You post the whole thing.
The only thing
you said you edited. What you mean?
No, I mean I get the trailer. Like I get the little bits and pieces from it.
That's your edit. Okay.
And I make a trailer, like a movie. You see the trailer first, and then you see the whole movie. But like as far as a podcast, I put it out like that.
You put it out like that?
With all the mistakes. unless you're like, hey, I didn't like what I said in this part, or like, can you take that out? Like if I have a request like that, which is not often, then I'll make an exception. And
so like this right here, this is going in.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up, boys?
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
And I don't really edit it because it's like it's a conversation. It's not like very formal.
I like that. No, that's cool. Yeah, mine's a little different. Mine we hit on points. Like I'll look through. Mine goes the format I use is my intro, the background and the journey of the guest. What's their definition of purpose, and then key points along the way, depending on that individual person. That's kind of how we go, and then an outro. Yeah, and I wrap it up.
Yeah, I used to do it different, but the thing that was stopping me from doing it like very structured was that it just took a long time for me to edit it. And my main goal with this podcast is consistency. Like I want to like do it consistently, and then maybe when there comes a certain point where maybe I have an opportunity to maybe have someone help me, or I have more time or whatever, then I'll probably add kind of like more cameras or more like. But as for right now, I think I like how it is because it's especially because I'm not coming out. I like to put the spotlight on the guest. I think that's the unique factor of my podcast versus some other podcasts, is that the whole attention is on you.
Yeah, that is the different part. But that's one part that I kind of like. I wanted to like you be in it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, like,
I thought it would be cool.
Yours. I don't mind.
You're definitely gonna, Carl, guys.
It's just I
announcement. Carlos is gonna be on the Purpose Journey podcast.
I just don't like editing my own face. It's just like look at myself.
Yeah. I guess
Like I'm not afraid to come out on camera, right? But it's not like when I'm editing it, I'm like, stupid face. You know.
But I like what you're saying though. Like it does set it apart though.
Yeah.
With the background, the setup, it being on the guest, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Super
Plus,
cool.
I feel like it's like a painting because the way that it's framed, you got all. Have you seen the background? Do you see the background?
No, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming by.
Yes, thanks, man. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
It was nice to meet you. Here, let me give you a handshake on camera.